Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I wanted to thank all the people who have subscribed so far, and if you haven't, please hit the subscribe button. You will get notifications each time I post a video. Today I'm going to show you how we updated our powder bathroom. Previously we had the bath door that was behind me that would hit another door, the garage door, when they were both opened. And so I'm going to show you the barn door and the vanity that we fixed and repainted. Here's a quick glance of what it looked like before. I purchased a barn door for our powder bathroom from Wayfair, and it came in a kit that me and my husband put together. There were different designs that you could use, and I liked the classic one. Putting it together was tedious. It was made of pine wood, which is not the hardest type of wood, and it cracked in one place while we were using the mallet to put it together. I filled in all the gaps and the cracks with wood filler, and then I had a damp paper towel that I used to just wipe the excess off. After that, I sanded the entire door, both sides, with a 320 grit sandpaper going with the grain. Plan for the barn door is to do a whitewash finish so you can still see the knots in the pine wood. So I've mixed 2 parts paint to 1 part water, and I'm just whitewashing now this door with a wet rag into the paint mixture and just rubbing it on. Make sure you wear gloves. Your hands will get very messy. And you're going with the grain of the wood. Since I'm working on this door, I thought I'd do the Bible reading from John 10. Jesus is speaking here, and starting in verse 9, he says, "I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and destroy. I have come that they might have life and have it abundantly." And in Revelation 3:20, it says, "Here I am. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him and he with me." Friends, have you made the decision to follow Jesus? I pray that you do. He is waiting on the other side of the door. And this is what the finish looks like after a coat of the whitewash. After the whitewash has dried, I applied a coat of polyacrylic. We needed a plank of wood to go above the doorway that was the same depth of the trim, so we bought a piece of wood at the home improvement store. We got a 1x4x8, and it's really rough, so I actually had to sand it with 80 grit sandpaper and worked my way to a higher number until it felt somewhat smooth. Then I primed it and let it dry, and now I'm going to sand it again before I put the coats of paint on. And I'm just painting it the same color as our wall color so it will blend right in before we put the rail on. So we got the board up, just started. My husband marked where all the studs were and pre-drilled, and we just are going to finish now drilling in the rest of the holes into the studs. So we have the screws in all the studs, and now we've measured up to where the rail needs to go and marked that. And in the book it says the door height plus 1/2 inch plus 1.5 inches. So our total is 86 1/8. So now we're gonna try to get the rail on. One hack that my husband said he read about was to put tape on the inside of your socket so you don't scratch the black screws when you're putting those in. So we got the door hung and the stoppers on. We have yet to put on the handle. The other thing I wanted to say is when this door is closed, there still is a little bit of a gap that you can see through. And so if we didn't put that plank up there that was the same depth as the trim, it may have sat a little closer to the door trim, but then we would be drilling directly into the drywall, so that's why we chose not to do that. I wanted to show you where the door hinge was before. There were cutouts in the trim and the frame, and instead of buying more trim, I filled these with Bondo and then I sanded and painted. And I'm gonna take a Dremel tool along the trim here to make a routed edge. And now I'm gonna show you what we did for our vanity. These vanities are super expensive. This one at Lowe's is $4.99, so I looked on Facebook Marketplace. This is the cabinet I got on Facebook Marketplace. It was cracked at the top frame there, so I had to glue it and clamp it, and then I put some furniture putty in the places where it was cracked. And I'm gonna sand the wood putty and wipe it down and then get ready to prime it with spray paint. I chose to prime this piece with spray paint because there is such a smooth factory finish on it, so this will help my paint adhere. It's pouring down rain outside and you can hear that in the background, but here is the first coat of spray paint. I didn't record myself using my Wagner sprayer, but this is after the first coat of paint. And it looks kind of splotchy and like orange peel, but that's okay because it's better to do many light coats than get some paint runs while you're trying to spray. I just wanted to point out here how it's important to get up underneath the legs of a piece also, which I may have to touch up with even a brush. This is after the second coat of paint, and I've sanded with a light grit 400 sandpaper in between each coat and wiped off the residue before adding the next coat of paint. This is after spraying 3 coats of the gray paint. And this is what it looked like after spraying a coat of polyacrylic on it. It's really light and I really didn't like the way that color turned out, so I mixed up some more gray that had some darker hues in it and I sprayed that with one final coat. And that's what's great about paint. If you don't like it, you can paint over it. So this is what the powder bathroom looked like before and the cabinet that was there. And here's the cabinet that I started with, and here's what it looked like after I was finished painting. Thanks for watching.